Joining me now is author of international bestsellers, including The Strange Death of Europe, The Madness of Crowds, and his latest book, The War on the West, Douglas Murray. Douglas, thank you so much for joining us as always. Now, you wrote that the attack on Donald Trump is reminiscent of the shootings of Ronald Reagan and Teddy Roosevelt. What did you take away from what occurred in Pennsylvania at the weekend?
Well, like most people, I watched with horror in real time as it was happening. And it was reminded again, as all of us have been, of that terrible way in which history can turn on a few millimeters, as in this case, as in attempts to assassinate previous presidents of the United States. I still think that in some ways, because everyone's moving on to the political significance of this, there still isn't quite enough of a registering of how close America came to a situation that is almost unthinkable. Had the assassin's bullet been very slightly to one side, not only would we have had an assassination of a former president and a running candidate on live television, but the Republican Party, the Democrats, America as a whole, and therefore the world, could easily have fallen into an absolute pit of recrimination, retribution, and much more. History really does turn on such moments. And, thank goodness on this occasion, things are going in a better direction than they might have done.
Yeah, he certainly was extremely lucky. Now, Douglas, let's talk about the catastrophic failures of the Secret Service that led to Trump being shot. It's now been revealed the agency knew of the threat 1 hour before the rally, yet still allowed Trump to take the stage. Here's more.
And according to Senator John Barrasso, just spoke to him as soon as he hung up on this briefing. He said that apparently the Secret Service had identified as a character of suspicion this man, this shooter, because they saw a rangefinder on him as well as a backpack. And this all happened more than an hour before the shooting actually occurred. So they saw the guy and they identified this guy as suspicious. Now, more details coming from a source familiar here, who was also in the meeting, tells me that about 10 minutes before former President Trump went onto the stage, they had gone from looking at this guy as suspicious to now looking at him as a threat.
Douglas, how bad is this? The Secret Service knew there was a threat, yet Trump was still allowed to go on stage.
Oh, I think there are huge questions to answer, and the Secret Service and its leadership has to answer them. I mean, everything like this will be analyzed probably for years to come, who knew what, when, and so on. And almost immediately, you get feverish conspiracy theories from all sides about it. And those have to be dampened down by being answered. I think people should know what exactly went wrong here, how it went so wrong. I mean, it's easy to be, literally an armchair pundit on this occasion, opining on what they should have done better. And it's always very easy in hindsight. However, obviously, this is a catastrophic failure by the Secret Service. This gunman, as the days have gone on, it's become clearer and clearer that he was spotted by members of the crowd. Now we know that the Secret Service were made aware that he was a threat. Now we know that the policeman got onto the roof and saw him and was pointed down by the gunman. Now we know that the head of the Secret Service, the director of the Secret Service, says that one reason why snipers weren't put on that roof was because it was a slopey roof and therefore presented a health danger, which is bewildering to many of us. I'm sure she has a good explanation for why it would have been so dangerous to have had another sniper on another slopey roof, and that's more important to protect the health and safety than the possibility of having a former president's head blown off on live television. I'm sure she'll answer that, but so far she's done rather badly in that regard. The Secret Service needs to have the trust not just of the people it protects, but of the American people. And it's going to have to do an awful lot in the days and weeks ahead to regain that trust.
You're spot on.